Subscribe to Bots Obsession and the other one, you bastards!
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Bots Obsession. This is ranking every Transformers reviewer 2. I went through the comments of the last ranking Transformers video, and I think you guys left some awesome suggestions. Some of these were guys that I didn't know about. Some of these were guys that I had simply forgotten when I was putting together that list. With that in mind, I do want to throw out that these are just my opinions on their content exclusively. What I think of the person's content does not constitute what I think of their person, if that makes sense. And I shouldn't have to mention this, but because it's YouTube, I do have to mention this. Don't go in the comments and dog on these guys. Don't go in the comments and dog on each other for liking someone less or more than you, whatever. It's all opinion based. We all have opinions. Let's get into our tiers. Our tiers are Matrix Holder for top tier, Prime Worthy for second to top, A Good Watch for the middle, How It Pains Me to Do This, now replacing Growing Pains, and If I Have to Put Them Somewhere. Let's start with some third-party guys. Bobby Skullface, I think, is one of the most goated third-party reviewers ever. I'm gonna throw that statement out there just because he's been around so long, and I feel like whenever you talk about dudes who talk about third-party, he's always in the mix. I also think he has some very nitpicky takes. I think he has some not aggressive ways of reviewing, if that's even possible, but he is a bit like left field for my taste, if that makes sense. I don't know how to fully explain it. It's just not fully my cup of tea, but there are times where like I've looked at some older third-party things and he's usually the guy who I go to for it. And for that, I'm going to throw him in A Good Watch. And I think that fits for him. Next up, we're going to talk about TM Reviews. TM Reviews actually does a podcast with Bobby Skullface for his channel members, and I think that's pretty interesting. The other thing I like about TM Reviews is that his camera quality is immaculate. His audio quality is also immaculate. I would love to see this guy try like a more edited style. I would love to see him do just a little bit more. It kind of reminds me of like if Pia was brought up into 4K, if that like makes any sense at all. Like if Pia started reviewing like 4 months ago, that's TM Reviews, even though he's been around longer than that. But for those reasons, I'm gonna throw him up in Matrix Holder. I really think his quality is what pulls him above the other third-party reviews. I think the stock photography, I think the camera quality, I think the audio quality, I think the way he talks about toys, it all brings him up to Matrix Holder and puts him above his podcast co-host. With that, we have Ben's Collectibles. Ben's Collectibles has also been in the game for a long time. I believe he does still do official stuff. A lot of what he covers now, or at least what he's covering right now, is third party, and I like his stuff. I've liked his stuff, but he's not my go-to Transformers reviewer. He's definitely not someone who I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta see where this is going. I gotta see what he thinks on, New Age Romulus. I'm not jumping over to his channel immediately. And for those reasons, I'm gonna put him in Prime Worthy. I definitely think that his vast library of content does like qualify for something. I think it does mean something that he's been doing it this long. But for me personally, I'd rather watch a TM Reviews video over a Ben's Collectibles video. And that's the only reason I'm putting him down in the next tier. Next up is a bit of a smaller creator. And I don't know if you guys have seen this guy's shorts like I did. That's how I found him. But Blind Prime is a blind reviewer, like his name says. And he has a very different way of like seeing things, literally, because it's all tactile. It's all feeling. So seeing his input on what he thinks of a toy is kind of different and unique, and I really like that. He also does a lot of work for Blind Awareness. He's done some fundraisers for that. He has a few videos on that as well if you want to go check those out. But overall, he seems like a great guy. He seems like a wonderful addition to the community. And again, it's a totally new, like, I don't know how else to say it's a totally new viewpoint without saying it's a totally new viewpoint. And that sounds weird because, obvious reasons. But yeah, and for that, I'm gonna throw him in A Good Watch. Seems like a great guy. Love to get to chat with him. After that, we have Deluxe Baldwin. Again, another third-party guy. I'm gonna put Deluxe somewhere near the other three. But for right now, let's talk about what his content constitutes. I like how he goes about stuff. I think his review style is very snappy, but I also don't think he does anything better than Ben's Collectibles. I don't think that he does anything better than TM Reviews. I think they all kind of fall in that same third-party guy category. And so once again, I'm going to throw this guy in A Good Watch. Again, I think Deluxe Baldwin still falls in that same category as the other three third-party guys that we talked about earlier. Again, not my go-to dude, although he is a very awesome guy. I've got to meet him a couple occasions, and he is just a fantastic person. Next up is Paper Melon, who is not necessarily a Transformers reviewer, more so a Transformers content creator. And there are some vast gaps, usually like a 2-month gap between his uploads, which I fully understand because he has insane production value on his videos. But I have my own opinions on Paper Melon's content and some of the statements that he's made. So for that, I'm going to throw him in if I have to put him somewhere. And that's just me. That's just me. And I'm not dogging on the dude. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy, but there's been some stuff that I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Up next, we have Lazy Eyebrow, who does not do content anymore, unfortunately. He did do a video about it where he talked about why he's not doing content anymore, why he's moving away from doing Transformers content. And it's all fairly reasonable. I'm going to throw him in Prime Worthy. I'm gonna throw him up there. If you guys haven't seen Lazy Eyebrow stuff, I'm sure that you have at some point. He's a stop motion reviewer in the same vein as This Toy Makes Me Happy, Cardboard Bots, who is later on the list. But yeah, unfortunately, he's getting out of the game, so a lot of his stuff will be backlog or videos for if you're trying to back collect some stuff. Next up, we have Botbender Orange. I love Botbender Orange's stuff. I've been following him on Instagram forever, like since he started up, and then he transitioned to YouTube at about the same time I did. And it's really cool to see a creator, like a fellow creator, like who started on Instagram, also move over to YouTube and do as well as Botbender has. And I think he has really cool ideas. I love the little raps he does in his content. I know that he's had some issues with his content being marked for kids, but I'll be real, I'm throwing him in Matrix Holder. I think he's great. He's been recognized by Mark and Evan on multiple occasions when they were doing the Weaponizer stuff, so I think he definitely deserves it. And if you want like a funny shorts content creator, Botbender is your dude. Next up, we have Cheffatron, and for the same reasons that I put Prime versus Prime in that category last time, Cheffatron is going in there as well. If you don't know, someone in the comments will explain it. Chris Carnage. I have gotten to talk with Chris Carnage on a semi-personal level lately, and he is such a cool dude. I'll throw that out there. Also, his content is spectacular. The camera quality, the audio quality, the jokes, the humor, and the way that he flows from articulation to details to transformation to packaging, everything. It's just seamless. Absolutely incredible. Chris Carnage is easily going up into Prime Worthy. 100%. I know he took a break for a bit. He was on a little bit of a hiatus. Now he's beaten some of these dudes to the punch, and he's acquiring super new figures super legally, which is awesome. So yeah, go check out his stuff if you want to see some of those new Age the Prime figures that some of these other reviewers have not gotten out. Next up, we have Grammy nominated, Oscar winning reviewer Dumb Jake, as I've been corrected. It's not my fault. I didn't know that he got an award for best director of 5 random Transformers. I didn't know that. But for that, I still think that movie, I think the whole project was a little lackluster. I'm gonna throw it in How It Pains Me to Do This. I'm gonna put that up there. I definitely think he has some room, because I don't want to sit through 5 reviews at once. I don't want to have to skip through the video. Just show it to me. I don't want to have to watch 5 random Transformers reviews. They're random. I want to know what I'm watching. So I disagree with the Academy on this one. But Dumb Jake, you're getting put in How It Pains Me to Do This. After that, we have Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot Reviews. Gotta say the whole thing. GotBot has been around for quite some time, kind of in the same vein as like MGO and Bolt Matrix. He's kind of in that variety of stuff. He does do a lot of different like discussion-based content now too, which is really great. I love to see reviewers kind of branch out from just standard reviews. He does have opinions, and he even says like, these are my opinions, but I'm gonna tell you whether or not I like something, and someone else really likes that thing. It's just not for me, and I appreciate that. He's very unbiased. I'm gonna throw him in a good watch. He's not my go-to Transformers reviewer, but I think if you want like a very unbiased and a very fair opinion from a dude who's been collecting for a fairly long time, GotBot's your guy. A lot of you guys mentioned Patriot Prime reviews in your comments. So a lot of you guys who watch him must also watch me, which is great to know that we have a bit of an overlap. I think Patriot Prime Reviews has some awesome stuff. But the main thing I know him for is the modern reviews of G1 figures. He does a lot of that stuff where he goes back and he reviews a G1 figure, or he talks about the Toy Hack stuff. He has a Toy Hack sponsorship. So while I'm not usually watching him for his like Legacy or Age of the Prime videos, and I'll be real, I'm not watching him for G1 either. I don't like G1 toys. That's just me. But I think having that footage in a higher quality of those 1984, 85, 86 figures is fantastic. I think what he's doing for the community is a service. And for that, I'm putting him up here in Prime Worthy. I think that's a worthy spot for him. Another dude who I've gotten to talk to lately is TFanpage 101. I know in the last video I said I didn't watch his stuff. I have since started watching his stuff, and oh my god, does Brian do some crazy good content. I love how snappy his editing style is. I think he's quick-witted with a lot of the jokes in those videos, specifically the Blokey stuff. That's what I've been mainly watching from him. I think his stuff is absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna put him also in Prime Worthy. I know I'm throwing a lot of these guys in there, but you guys suggested some really, really good stuff, some really good reviewers, so it's hard not to throw them all up there. Following that up, we have Toys R Us. Now this dude, you want a Transformers reviewer who owns everything? Like, I mean everything? You're talking two dudes. That's Sixo from the Triple Takeover podcast, and that's Toys R Us. And Toys R Us has everything. This guy has the Package Air version of a Power Core combiner. This guy has Battle Gaia. This guy has Guard City. Everything. I'm sure he has some Lucky Draw figures hiding in his collection. Toys R Us is an absolute animal when it comes to collecting. I'm gonna throw him up in Matrix Holder for the pure dedication that he has to the hobby. Now, I wish his lighting was just a little bit better in a lot of his videos, but still, it is what it is. Dude gets out this stuff and he talks about things that no one else on the platform has. So he's going up there. Cardboard Bots. I don't think I've seen a video from him in a while, but a lot of you guys mentioned him when I brought up This Toy Makes Me Happy, which makes sense. You know, it's another stop motion reviewer. He did a few videos, mostly Huffer content, Transformers Huffer, which is strange. Like that, really, he's only done Huffer stuff and a few other Transformers things like Hosehead. So I don't really know where to put him. I think he's still trying to figure out like a good, you know, spectrum of like where to put or when to upload, how to upload or whatnot, but he's also probably just doing it in his spare time, if I had to guess. I am unfortunately going to put him in How It Pains Me to Do This just because he's inconsistent. That doesn't mean his content is bad at all. I actually think his content is really, really good. Which brings us to our last guy, Sheep Wielder. A lot of you guys mentioned Sheep Wielder, who I did used to watch. I loved his Transformers in Under 60 Seconds short series. It was really whenever he started doing the longer form content that I was like, okay, I'm not watching this. And it was just because I think the jokes didn't land as much in the long form content, that or they were all compilations. And for that, again, I'm gonna throw him in How It Pains Me to Do This. I think that in terms of like doing a full video, and maybe it's changed, I need to look at some of his newer stuff. I think where he really shines is his shorts content. And if you want a really funny Transformers reviewer, something like toy reviews done quick but even shorter, this is your guy, and he does it in actual shorts content. With all of those reviewers ranked, let's go through the list. In Matrix Holder, we have TM Reviews, Botbender Orange, and Toys R Us. In Prime Worthy, following that one up, we have Ben's Collectibles, Lazy Eyebrow, Chris Carnage, Patriot Prime Reviews, and TFanpage 101. In A Good Watch, we have Bobby Skullface, Blind Prime, Deluxe Baldwin, and GotBot Reviews. In How It Pains Me to Do This, we have Dumb Jake, Cardboard Bots, and Sheep Wielder. And if I have to put them somewhere, Paper Melon and Cheffatron. With that all said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out the support links down in the description, including the Patreon. It's just $1. And the Discord. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. I will see you guys. Oh.